I dropped this phone the other day, and I'm just seeing if the camera still works, you know. And sure enough, it does. You know, one second. We all go through cycles in life, right? Something on my nose. We all go through cycles, and those cycles are designed to birth us. Sometimes they're daily cycles, weekly, monthly, yearly, a decade. If you've been going through a decade cycle, it's getting ready to end, I promise you. You might say, I'm stuck. Change your thinking. If you're going through a cycle of any kind of cycle, it's designed to get you to change your thinking. Change your stinking thinking. And I'm telling you the truth, but you don't believe me. You think you're stuck because of something out there. No, you're stuck because of your thinking. I promise you, it's your stinking thinking. Mine too. When I say something, I'm not talking about just everybody else, I'm talking about mine too. Like I'm getting ready to go over here to this other house, and I'm changing my whole thinking. Instead of getting emotionally attached to this, I'm gonna treat this like a business or just an investment. No emotions involved. It's just business, you know. And I'm going to change my stinking thinking, and this year hopefully finish what I started 2 years ago. Because I've been putting it off, you know. So when we change our stinking thinking for whatever it is, whatever we're dealing with, I might get a phone call coming in, so this might cut off. But hopefully I can finish it. When you change your stinking thinking, you move to the next cycle or next level. The cycles are designed to, God will put you in a cycle as long as you want to stay in it. Until He said, okay, they're still in that cycle. I'm going to have to do something major to knock them out of the cycle, you know. I was knocked out of a cycle this year that started back in July last year. And it might have even been a pity party. I think I might have been in a pity party. And I've never been in that. I think I dropped down into a pity party or something. And then I just was like, okay, what now? Oh, I started talking about, well, I want what's real. You know, let's face off with the real. Back in July, I realized, you know, what's real? What's the illusion? Fake reality bubbles. I was talking about that in July and August. The burst in every fake reality bubble. And I was also thinking, why do people stay in fake realities, you know? I didn't even know I had my windows down, you know? It's pretty hot outside, but I'd rather just leave my windows down. I don't care about comfort anymore. Comfort will mess you up. If you're not stretching yourself to the next level, walking, jogging, exercising, push-ups, whatever, if you're not stretching yourself to the next level, you're going down. Now, sometimes you need to recover, don't get me wrong. But if it's true in the natural, it's also true in the spiritual, right? I'm shifting my thinking so radical that by next year, I'll be unrecognizable. It'll be totally unrecognizable. That's my goal, I hope. I'm gonna watch. See, you reap what you sow. Every seed you plant, every word that I speak, every action I take is for that future self or future reality. You know, I got a policeman, an undercover policeman behind me for some reason. He's watching me talk on the phone. Let me put this on pause. so radical, people say, who are you? That's my hope. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So every choice you make is a seed. And that seed is going to either grow and flourish because it's a good seed, or it's going to die and negative because it's a bad seed. Every choice, every seed that you plant, and you got to plant it in truth, people. Truth, truth, truth. If there's any lie, let's say somebody's trying to build a relationship. If there's any lie out there in that relationship, either person, that they're hiding something, you really think that's going to grow and flourish? Flourish? Do you think it's going to grow and flourish? I don't think so. I don't think it's possible. Lies bring death. A relationship built on lies brings death. Anything built on lies brings death. You want life. So everything you do is in truth, right? Because you want life. Why would you want death? Why do you want the death cult? Why do you want to be in the death cult? If your heart's full of lies, if your words are full of lies, what's going to happen? Death. Death. They told me they were going, the apartments told me they were going to clean this, cut all this down. They cut a little bit down, a little pathway for people, but that's all they cut down. They didn't do all the work I did on my side. I had to cut down a 4 foot. I had like all I could do is squeeze through, and I had to cut down 4 feet, you know. I forgot why. Oh, I came over here to get a rake. I wonder what the city is doing. I've seen them over here 2 days in a row. Let's see what they're doing. That's not the city. So yeah, I couldn't even walk back in the back over there. I had to get on my hands and knees, cut up vines and everything else. I couldn't even walk back here before. It was kind of scary to walk back here. I made it a 4 foot walkway. Couldn't even walk back here. That was a trip right there. I'm going to turn this not into an emotional project, but I'm going to turn this into a business. It's not about emotions. F that noise, because it don't get you nowhere. You get all emotional about stuff, and you come over here and get all bent out of shape because your emotions are taking over. It's time to make it happen. Once it's done, yeah, then you can have some emotions because you got it completed, and you say, hallelujah, I got it done. I don't even know if I locked the car. Yeah, you have to plant the seed that you want to happen. Every choice, every day, every conversation, everything that you want, you have to keep that in your mind. Not only do you write it out and plan it out, but you keep it in your mind. I had to rip this whole wall out. This had a previous renter, okay? He lived over here, and he put an AC unit in this wall, right? And it rotted this whole area out. So I cut the wall out, cut the whole wall. You could, it was just like outside. And I took my wood and I built the frame. And I had already bought the right size window. So I stood the wall up, knocked it in place. I mean, there was a hole going outside right here. I built the frame and put the wall up, put the window in, went outside, did that stuff, did this wood here. Once I stained this wood, this is just temporary. All this is temporary. Once I stain this wood, this wall right here will be nice. I got this shelf right here at Lowe's, $49. And I got this shelf at Lowe's, $49. And so once I get the rest of this floor in, I've got half of it done, get the rest of this floor in, and then paint the walls, this room will be done. There's really not a whole lot left in this room. And then I got to finish the bathroom. So I might focus on this room and then focus on the bathroom. And then I'm gonna get a quote for a split unit. Have a split unit put in here, maybe in the corner somewhere. And that's heating and air. And it's more efficient than anything else. So long story short, this table was free. This chair was free. This was free. That wood was free. This was like $29 or $39, $49. It's pretty much cheap. All this stuff I get is pretty much free, but I just, these cabinets here were free. I got like $600 worth of cabinets for free. Look at that. That is crazy. Maybe more than $600 because I got. But my point is, you have to set your vision, and if you know it's God's will, then you go for it. Like what I'm going to do, I'm remodeling two at the same time. So I got this free wood, and I have a perfect setup at the other place. I'm gonna stain this or paint it one, and it's gonna be like a backsplash, make the sink area look nicer than it does right now. And I got enough of free wood right here to do it. And so whatever your vision is, go for it. Go for it. Change the paradigm. Change the outcome. Change the bloodline curse. Change the bloodline curse. For real. You can do it, but you have to change your stinking thinking. And the old way of thinking, whether it's your mama, your daddy, your cousins, everybody around you, you might have to cut them all off for a year or two. And I hate to tell you, once you cut them off for 2 years, you probably won't go back. Change your thinking. Cut people off who are low frequency. You're rising up. You might be by yourself for a while, but while you're by yourself, you might as well improve yourself. Why let your isolation go to waste? Why not raise your frequency up? Like, nobody told me. No, I've never seen anybody do this. So I built that walkway, and I thought, well, you know what? I want it to where it's not slippery. And so I put that those shingles on there, and when it snowed, because the heat on the shingles, it cleared itself off. I didn't have to shovel any snow. It was just automatically clear. Because the heat, it holds the heat, you know. The snow melted because these are shingles. Now, ain't that crazy? You do experiments and you learn as you go. What if you mess up? Okay, what if you mess up? What if you make a mistake? Like, I built this door out of scrap wood. You know what this door is built out of? And it could have, let's say it worked out good. I built this whole door out of scrap wood that I found on the side of the road. You know what that's built out of? When the college kids leave, they throw out their furniture. So this was from a bed. See this right here? this is the side of this would be the side of the bed, and these would be laying right here, and the mattress or box spring would be on top of these. So I cut them. I built this door out of scrap wood on the side, brand new wood. Somebody threw it out. It was a bed frame. So I built this screen door, and I got to screen the rest of this place in out of scrap wood. Look at that. And I put some hooks up, so if you need to move, and then I got some hooks here. But also invented something else, and it expands. I put, just so it would hold just without a hook, I put a cord around here. Now this wood expands for some reason, and it holds itself. I might have to move this down a little bit, but it holds itself usually. It's not fancy. I don't need fancy. And that deck right there, that floating deck, I built that free. All that wood's free. That handrail right there is free. If it's a certain height, you don't need that. That was a free floating deck. And I went to Walmart and got some black paint and was experimenting, and sure enough, it didn't take that long. It's pretty cool, to be honest with you. Pretty cool. My project this week is to redo this concrete. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I experimented with this. It seemed to be all right. Just don't look that smooth, you know. So here's how I work. Here's how I operate. So I want to redo this concrete. I'm gonna get a quote tomorrow. He's gonna give me a quote. But it'll probably be too high, and I'll probably decide to do it myself. So I experiment with some different concretes. Did it work? Did it hold? Yeah. And then I experiment with different paints and resurface this concrete. This here looks kind of rough. I might have to redo it, but you want it to have a little rough to it, because when people are walking on it, you want to fall. You don't want it to be slippery. I actually put that up. I put that 4x4 up, right? And then I'll put those across. I just haven't put the screen in yet. So then I got to do it over here and put a 4x4 up, and do the same thing. This used to not be here, and that fence there used to not be here. And so when you sit on the porch, every time somebody would ride by, they would look at you. So what I did is I said, I want to do a perception filter experiment. I put this up, and people still look by. Then I put the screen up. People kind of still looked over. But then when I put that one up, that fence right there in the yard, it messes with people's minds. So they first look at that, and by the time they look at that, then they look at this. It's like a perception filter. So you have a little bit, it's not private, but it feels private, because they have to go through 3 levels to see what's going on the porch, That was just an experiment, because I watched Doctor Who series, and they had this thing on there that say, well, it's right there. And they say, I can't see it. Yeah, because it's under a perception bubble. You can't perceive it because it's under a perception bubble. And that's what Jezebel does. She hides under that fake reality. The illusion. So if you go out here, before I put this perception bubble up, so you might be out here on the road, right? You might be out on the road, And it's hard to see. See that? It's hard to see what's going on the porch because you got a perception bubble. You can see out, but they can't see in. I think it's pretty cool. It worked out better than I thought. Just like this fence here, when people ride by, it's hard to see what's going on. They might be sitting on their little back porch deck and people can't see. So they can't really see the porch. But you can see out, but they can't see in. Isn't that cool? I really need to redo those pallets or either paint them white or something because they look rough. But even up close, still a perception filter, and you could have to strain your eyes just to see. Before I built this door and this was free too. This was free wood too. The screen was free. Before I built this, people could just see you sitting here. Now, they don't even look over here because it's too much work. And so let's say there's a criminal walking down the street and he looks over and says, oh, I could just break in there and grab whatever. Well, I got a security guard right over here, and I got the perception bubble, and I got security in here. So, you know, if you put one of those Ring cameras up, see that car right here? He can't even see. Before, you could see their eyes. You could actually see their eyes. Now, they can't even see you unless they strain. It's just fun doing stuff like that, you know. And you can see how busy this road is. And not only was it this per here, but before people, in the wintertime, people could ride by and just see right here. So by building that little fence there, it creates like a little sanctuary type setup. It's nothing fancy, it just creates a little perception bubble. That might not be the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. Why not enjoy life? Why not create stuff, you know? It didn't take long to put those landscape timbers in the ground. I dug a 20-inch hole, put the sand in there, compacted it, 3 of them, got the free wood, and I just mounted it, boom. Painted it, spray painted it. Didn't take long. It's fun stuff, you know. What else you gotta do? Enjoy life. Life is short. Do what you want to do, and if you enjoy doing something, do it. When I moved those 2 mailboxes, I got rid of the old ones, and I moved them over because I want to build a driveway right there. It didn't take long to do that. It was fun. I created me a porch, a front porch. I can just sit out here. I can get me a stool and put my feet up if I want to and just chill. I got a stool right here if I want to make it. Reason I found this chair for free, I was going to find me some good wood and make use my skill saw and make, this was still on the side of the road. I noticed it wasn't rusted. Just take me a free piece of wood and cut that. I got another chair to sit out here. Listen to the birds. Yeah, I know there's traffic, but you can still hear the birds. Also got a little secret door here. Look. I need to fix that. It's been like that forever. It's been like that for 12 years. Turn in a little secret door. Put a spare key if you wanted to. Look, life is short. Do what you enjoy doing. Find you a hobby. Find you a hobby. Be still and know that I am. Live in the now. Live in the moment. Sow what you want to reap, because you reap what you want. You reap what you sow, so you sow what you want to reap. I stole that from somebody. Somebody about 3 or 4 years ago made a comment. I thought, that's the greatest comment I've ever seen in my whole life. You reap what you sow, so you better sow what you want to reap. And that goes for money, jobs, health, relationships, spiritual growth, everything. Each day, let's say you want to grow spiritually, right? And you should want to. So each day you create a practice. Memorize words, verses. Memorize verses that relate to what you want to do. If I sit here long enough, I have a gift, and you do too. You just haven't exercised it because you haven't cut the noise off. You have a gift, and you can actually sense who's going to call you or text you or drop by before they show up on the scene. You can feel it. Because there's this invisible string connecting everything. And it's a quantum connection, just like you turn an electron, you spin an electron here, and across the world, this electron over here spins. So there's a quantum connection in everything you do. Now, if you want to break the quantum connection, you're going to have to do some fasting and prayer, like your bloodline curse. If you want to break that quantum connection to that bloodline curse, you're going to have to do some things only come out by prayer and fasting. You've got to fast. And when you do the fasting, what it does is keeps you in prayers. Because let's say I will put a Bible in my sock, and every time I move my leg, I can feel that Bible, and I'm in prayer mode 24/7. Or if you do food fast, you can have hunger pains, and you will, every time you have that hunger pain, you're praying, And what you're doing is you're giving up a bodily need, like eating, and you're giving that up to sacrifice that for that prayer, for that. Breaking strongholds is actually fun, especially if it's a really strong stronghold that's holding you back. So you break the stronghold. Like from now on, every time I come over here, I'm going to put a Bible in my sock, and I'm going to be praying. And while I'm over here, I have the vision of what I want to finish in here. I don't have much left to do. All I got to do is finish the floor, paint the walls in this room, and then I got to just finish the bathroom. And I've already got the toilet. All I have to do is buy a toilet, buy a sink, and finish the the shower stuff, and I'm done. Because I still got a few things to do under the house, but I don't really have but a few things to do. So to overcome that obstacle, I'm going to do some prayer and fasting every time I come over here to do some work, And if it's raining, I got plenty of work to do inside. If it's a nice day, I got plenty of work to do outside. So I've got a double-minded man's unstable in all his ways, right? So you have to keep your mind focused. You don't swerve to the left or to the right. You just stay focused on your goal. And if it's God is leading you, and I can tell God is leading me on this because think about it. I'm getting free pallets for another floating deck in the back. I'm getting free shelving. This shelving is all I need for the bathroom and in here. There's enough shelving in here for the studio and the bathroom. I actually might even have this as a furnished unit because I've got everything. long story short, I forgot why. Oh, I was coming over to get a rake. My point is, let's say you have something you want to do. And I think everybody has something they want to achieve. If you have to fast and pray for 21 days, the reason I say 21 days is because when you go to the treatment center, I used to be a maintenance man at a treatment center, and they'd go in there for 21 days. Why? Charles Stanley said a long time ago, when I first got saved, he said, do this for 21 days and you'll never not do it, you know. You create a pattern for 21 days. You have to make up your mind that nobody's going to stop you. If this is God's calling in your life, if somebody comes in your world and doesn't support this calling, they're not on your team. Remember what I said. So by the grace of God and my prayer and fasting and my hard work, my blood, sweat, and tears, I'm going to redo this surface. And if the guy's quote is too much tomorrow when he quotes it, I'm going to do it myself. If you can't skin a squirrel this way, skin it a different way, you know?